Hello everyone, this is Ox here, and today I'm here with Machina Shadow, which actually turned out to be a meta deck, so yippee! I guess Shadow is meta, and I really can't complain because I love Shadow a little bit too much. But this is one of my day one lists, so if you're wondering why I'm showcasing it, well, because I can, and also this was the deck that I climbed with my own personal list, which honestly, well, let's be fair, the core of the deck is all here, so there's not much variation to go off of, except for me that I run one copy of NICHOLAAA, which turns out to be really good at helping you control the wipe your opponent's board, which is one of the few weaknesses that Machina Shadow have. And I think that's one of my personal tech touches to the deck. I feel like the rest of the deck is pretty standard. Add 3 copies of Atom, 3 copies of Lubel, and then Elena Technolog. You understand how this deck works. It's really simple. You just play all your Machina cards, activate Ania ideally by turn 5, and then you just proceed to steamroll your opponent from there, hoping that they are not rough, and if they are rough, they didn't find Urias. Which, look, rough players, man. But yes, that's basically it for the deck. If you want to learn more, you can watch the rest of the video through. I'll be playing against 3 other decks, and so yes, here's the QR code. And if you're new to the channel, do leave a like, leave a subscribe. I'm Zelps, I make Shadowverse content, and I'll see you in the gameplay. Well, obviously, whenever I showcase a deck on this channel, we must at least talk about how it matches up with one of the best decks in rotation right now. How does this deck match up against Wrath? Very difficult question to answer, mainly because of 2 reasons. Okay, actually, there's only 2 things you need to look out for. Does your opponent have Giant Chimera on turn 4? And does your opponent have Elena on Evolve turn? If the answer to any of those 2 questions is yes, you lost. There's no chance you're winning. But if the answer is no, you actually have a pretty decent chance. I did match into a lot of Wrath players while playing on ladder climbing with this deck, so it's quite really dependent on whether they got Giant Chimera, Diablo's Hidone, or what was it? Yes, Elena early. If they get those early enough, it's over. Just don't bother. Just you can stay or you can quit. It makes no difference. You'll probably lose at the end of the day because, especially Urias, if they get Urias early, you're gone. But as you can tell, one of the best cards in the deck is actually the Shed Gold. Is it Shed Gold? It's called Shed Gold, right? Yeah, Shed Gold. Really good card, especially if you can hit Ania with it. Discounting Ania down to 0 play points makes her so much more flexible to play and makes her spells so much better. And yeah, NICHOLAAA is here because NICHOLAAA is NICHOLAAA. He is amazing. And here my opponent pinged himself a lot. He pinged himself like 10 times, which is 3 more than he actually needed to. But yeah, he got Giant Chimera on 4. But fortunately for me, what I did manage to do is I managed to activate Ania on turn 5, which is your ideal turn to activate Ania. If you can get it active this turn, you have a very good chance of at least fighting for a win. And since they ping themselves at 3 extra time, they cannot play Giant Chimera next turn. This is an okay board state for me to be in. Although ideally I didn't have another. This wasn't another Ania. This was just another card, so we can draw we can get another spell of Ania. But since that's not possible, well, it is what it is, right? So, funnily enough, this was almost lethal, if I was to mention, which is really funny. The only reason why it wasn't lethal was because I was 1 damage too short. Which I wish they actually healed for. They healed for 4. That's the only reason why this wasn't lethal. Otherwise, NICHOLAAA evolving him, and this is one of the reasons why NICHOLAAA is so good, is because it supplements the additional damage and board wipe potential, which you usually would not have. For just 2 mana, my board was full. If I didn't have played NICHOLAAA that turn, I really didn't have any better plays. But the idea behind that turn was really simple. I get him down to 1, he heals back to 7 using Giant Chimera, and sorry, not Giant Chimera. Why did I call it Giant? Chaotic Chimera. And then Atom will hit face for exactly 7 for lethal. Well, no. Because it's my opponent. They hit to 9, I'm annoyed, and I milled that 1 card. But what was really funny, they had to evolve the Chaotic Giant Chimera just to clear a 1-1, which, you know what, I'm perfectly fine with that. That was amazing. But anyways, here's why Shadow is so good. If you have already secured 1 copy of NICHOLAAA, it actually guarantees you an Ania. Because in my deck, I run 3 different types of 2 drops, 1 NICHOLAAA, and the other 3 are Ania and Gang. Which is perfect. It's just a perfect amount. And Joy here kills, give me a face shield. They actually didn't have Uriah, so it's still pretty good, even though they did manage to get Sea Chim on turn 4, which makes me excessively angry for no goddamn reason. Like, they are called rough, but I'm the one getting pissed here. And here it was pretty lucky that they managed to hit my 2 androids and not my roly-poly, or else I would have been very triggered as well. Unfortunately, not exactly lethal, but because of that, I managed to get Evolve point back, and I decided to use it on Atom. Reason why I did lose 7 damage, I evolved it, and this is just one singular follower that's pretty hard to deal with. Especially if they want to clear the rest of the board as well. Diablos actually clears this really well, but other than that, it doesn't really matter how they do it. This will at least tank 2 hits. They go for Chaotic Chim after all and goes to 12 hit points. But this was actually not a problem because Technolot is at 21. And despite all their efforts, it is lethal with Technolot. Well, so it's not actually a loss if your opponent gets Chaotic Chimera on 4. Nice. So that is Rough Blood out of the way. What about some of the other meta contenders out there? So this time, it is Havencraft. Also a pretty decent deck that was making waves for the past few weeks. I'm not sure if it fell off or not. I took a relatively short break from making Shadowverse content, so I have no idea if they're still good. But since I was playing, usually when I play Machina Shadow against Amulet Haven, I don't usually have a lot of issues. Do I have issues? Not really. It's minor. It's really minor. And I did get a pretty decent start. Hoverboard Speedster off the top actually gave me something to play. Otherwise, I would have to deal with just recovery that turn, which would have been really sad. But because I did get a follower, it was a-okay. Friends Anywhere, use it to get more SMD droids. Actually, I use it for fodder for Night Terror so I can draw more cards. And I did secure a shared goal. Really good. As I think I already mentioned why you just discount 2 followers and the discount stick. So sometimes making your turn 5 play very, very strong. And what? So here we go. Actually, I didn't even play shared goal this turn because that's really not. I don't know why I chose not to. I think I was afraid of milling because if I play this card, I will have a chance of milling a card next turn, which honestly I could just play Hellfire Strike, but usually these are sort of decisions you have to make, but I could have done that. But maybe I feel like it's a lot better for you to save Hellfire Strike as a way to clear your opponent's board, which I already mentioned is one of the few weaknesses of this deck. And here we go, I have space, I got an Ania off the top, and I managed to hit Ania with, what's that card? Share Goals, so this one is going to be very useful in the future. We have 2 Bane units which can be used in preparation for their Seraph or the True Keys. Yes. And Technolot, eventually, if the game drags on too long, this is a very strong win condition alongside Atom and Lubel. So you do have a lot of ways to end off the game as well. And this time, I hope I didn't mistake because just FYI, there's a lot of times when your Mr. Streamer here miscounted the cards and failed to actually get Ania spell, funnily enough. But thankfully this time I actually did it. Yay! Didn't use Technolot here because I know they have Seraph in hand and this card is probably going to get banished anyways. They chose to banish this one, so this one is still alive. And you see, I didn't use the Evolve point last turn because I was waiting for the Selena. It's best if I don't give them the extra 2 play point. It's just ideal. It's just, you don't always have to play around this, but if you can, do play around it because it will make your life a lot easier. And here you see I still have 2 copy, use 1 to get rid of 1. Succession, actually I traded in Anya because she's not necessary anymore. And Succession of Balance here. If I had like NICHOLAAA right now, I would have played NICHOLAAA and evolve him to get his spell, because that would have been 5 free burn damage. As you can tell, I have extra mana left over, which NICHOLAAA could have perfectly used that. And yes, that's the 2 Haven Fires. I already have a Phase Shield, so it won't do as much damage, but they do have Seraph of the True Key, which I will have to watch out for. And Shining Prayer, which banished one of my war guys, because they are that good. Which traded into my roly-poly. Yeah, you know, the usual Haven players. And Pew Pew. Oh wait, that actually destroyed my Phase Shield, so I took the full 8 damage. But anyways, Zombo Droid into Seraph of the True Key as planned. That make us take 6 damage, but that's perfectly fine. Machina Shadow has a ton of healings that you have, so you really don't have to worry about it. And this one, I used the first Joy. What's the card called? Joy Secured, which was really good. And then also Manual Evolve Speedster this time, because she heals us, which leaves us with a bot. They don't give us back androids, but they still a bot, and we have a whole bot of war followers. And Lena, great, of course. Isn't it great that I evolved the guy that has the most attack, so it doesn't get like super value and wipe my entire board? That's very fortunate. And of course that hits the one with the last words, which, look, are you sure it's random? Because I'm pretty certain that's targeted removal. But yes, and once again, we are at the point in the game where we are at turn 9, Technolog is at 21. Even though they have a total of 23 hit points on the board, and Technolog finishes them off for lethal. Technolog is really strong in this deck. Like, no joke, it's really strong. And now, this is one of those matchups that most people think is actually not favored towards a Shadow. They think that this is Netheran Dragon. If you guys didn't know what the gameplay of Netheran Dragon is and you're living under a rock or something, or just don't play Shadowverse. But basically what Netheran Dragon game plan is to get 10 Netheran trees, play Valdane, get his token spell, start reducing our hit points, and then OTK us eventually somewhere down the line. And usually because of their many ways to remove our followers, it is usually considered that Machina Shadow is not a good matchup into Netheran Dragon, which, funnily enough, I kind of disagree. I usually have a really good matchup into Netheran Dragon. Maybe my opponents were just bad, or I'm just the superior player, or my list was just really strong. But who knows? Who cares? Because if it's a good or bad matchup, eventually it will let it make itself known. But yes, since usually Netheran Dragon doesn't have a very strong early game, they usually cut the early game decks for late game strong control. But unfortunately for them, we have very strong early game presence. Well, honestly, the order there didn't matter, but if I order that right, I can still play a Hellfire Strike, which doesn't really matter. And so this is actually one of the best case scenarios for Netheran Dragon. They got Valdane out early and very fast, which they use it to discount our board. Not discount our board, nerf our board and then he managed to get his Shadow Rejection active. And this one will start weakening us every turn actually. So now the next goal will probably be to get like as many net trees deep there as possible, so his Shadow Rejection start being a lot stronger. But fortunately for us, we secured 3 copies of Anya already. And if we do need to find ourselves a copy of NICHOLAAA, Shed Ghost actually guarantees a NICHOLAAA now. They actually kind of wasted this Crystal Dragon Newt, in my opinion. There's a lot better places where you can use this. But I'm not gonna complain. The more they waste their cards, the better it is for me. And now I'm down to 16. So this turn, Shed goes first because I have more evolve points. And NICHOLAAA was actually the only card left in deck. But the reason why I really wanted to get NICHOLAAA here is because I want the Forbidden Power. Otherwise, it would have been really difficult for me to deal with this Crystal Shard Dragon. But because I do have Forbidden Power, it makes it a lot easier And I even use it to do as a chance to do 4 extra damage to my opponent. Which honestly, if I didn't have NICHOLAAA, that wouldn't have been the case. Maybe you could have argued I could have used that time to actually discount Zombo Draw instead, which fair, but not a big deal. And because of how my followers was statted, they weren't able to kill off their Benevolent Mother, which actually denied them 4 heal, which actually turned out to be very key and essential for me. They are still at 7 though. I mean, to be fair, they would have gone to 20. Would it have mattered as much as it would have mattered? I honestly wouldn't know. I actually wouldn't know whether it would have mattered as much, but anyways, here I'm just spamming shadows, I'm just getting my cards up, and I'm getting another Ania Shield, Joy Secure echoing. So this time, I brought them down to 9, which means they are really well within my Lubell lethal range. Let's see, would they have get 12, but yes. And this time they go for another Mother, which bad play because they were expecting to get 3s out of the Mother, but no, because they more than 5 have left, they got this instead. And because of that, Neteran Defender does absolutely nothing. This was a huge mistake on their part, and probably what lost them the game. Well, but they still have 3s in their hand, which they used to clear my board anyway, so. Well, maybe it didn't lose them the game, but they were going to lose the game anyway, so it doesn't really matter what they do here. But yes, anyways, turn 8, Lubell is active. I have an Evolve Point. You guys know where this is going. They had 13 hit points, which is just within Lubell's lethal reach. And if it's not within Lubell's lethal reach, well, I have nothing more to do. I guess I'll probably follow up a Night Terrors into a Elena, hoping to get a NICHOLAAA lethal the next turn. But yes, Neteran very good. Card counter? Who knows? But anyways, thanks for watching today, and